Good morning. It is Monday, April 13th. I am JJ Hastings, and these are the U.S. domestic news stories you need to know. Now, on my channel, you might have come here immediately from my last video, which was this morning's kind of global Iran war update. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on some of the things that we are seeing in Congress this week. A lot moving and a lot happening. So, as Congress returns from its recent recess, lawmakers are facing a volatile legislative agenda dominated by that escalating conflict with Iran and a series of high profile ethics scandals. Now, according to Roll Call, a great website where I get a lot of my congressional agenda information, the week will be defined by challenges to executive war powers as well as potential removal proceedings for several House members. So let's start with that legislative battle over Iran war powers. Following the collapse of peace talks in Pakistan and President Trump's announcement of a naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, as I discussed in my first video, Democrats are moving to restrict military action. Now, Minority House Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat from New York, has announced plans to force a vote on a war powers resolution intended to compel the administration to cease hostilities immediately. This would essentially force an end to administrative aspect of this war. Now, Democratic senators are expected to follow suit with similar votes, even as the administration maintains that the blockade is necessary due to Iran's refusal to abandon its nuclear program. Now, if you watch the channel, you know I put a video up this weekend talking about that enriched uranium that really was the cause of, as the US claims, breakdowns in those kind of peacemaking conversations. Now, additionally, the Department of Homeland Security remains partially shuttered as that funding impasse continues. Now, Senate Republicans, led by Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, are preparing to use the budget reconciliation process to bypass those procedural hurdles they've been seeing. The goal? Well, the plan aims to secure 3 years of funding for both Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, or the CBP. Now, moving into those health ethics scandals and those expulsion threats, the House of Representatives face a rare gauntlet this week of potential expulsion votes involving 4 separate members across both political parties. Now, first, we have Democrat from California, Eric Swalwell, who faces allegations of misconduct, S harassment, and S assault involving a former staff member and others. Now, he has suspended his gubernatorial campaign as of last night and is facing major calls to resign. I will have a more in-depth video about those allegations against Eric Swalwell here on the channel either today or tomorrow. Second, we have Republican from Texas, Tony Gonzalez. Now, this is the politician who admitted to having an affair with one of his staffers after that staffer committed suicide outside of his office. Now, an ethics committee investigation has been opened, and he is not seeking re-election. Then the Democrat from Florida, Sheila Sherfilis McCormick, has been accused of misallocation of FEMA funds for personal campaign use. A House Ethics Subcommittee found 25 of 27 counts provably true and is currently under federal indictment. And then Republican from Florida, Corey Mills, is under investigation for potential improper government contracting while in office, as well as alleged S misconduct. An ethics panel inquiry is ongoing in that one. Now, Representative Jared Huffman, a Democrat from California, indicated over the weekend that he would support the expulsion of both Swalwell and Gonzalez if they do not resign, characterizing this conduct as a per se abuse of power. This is a sentiment that is being held and spread by many on both sides of the aisle in these allegations. So I will get more information to you on those allegations as they expand. And then beyond the war powers debate, And those expulsion scandals, a few additional items on the Senate's calendar this week. They're considering the nomination of John Thomas Shepard for a federal judicial appointment or judgeship in Arkansas. They'll also be receiving testimony from OMB Director Russell Vogt regarding fiscal 2026 funding and their reconciliation strategy around the budget, and a continued debate on a Republican backed bill to mandate that national voter ID, though legislation currently lacks the momentum required for passage. Now that we've covered those domestic stories, I do have one final breaking global story that I do want to share since I do have a little bit of time here at the end of the video. A tragedy has occurred in Milot, Haiti. A tragic crush at a historic landmark in northern Haiti has left at least 30 people feared dead. The incident occurred on Saturday during an annual Easter celebration at the La Ferie Citadel, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the town of Milot. Now, according to Jean-Henri Petit, the civil protection chief for the Nord Department, the stampede broke out during a high attendance event commemorating the founding of the 19th century fortress. Local indicates report that the site was heavily crowded with students and tourists, largely due to social media advertisements for the event. And the crush reportedly began near the site's entrance and was worsened by sudden heavy rainfall, which intensified the panic. While the Haitian government has not released a finalized death toll, local authorities warn that the number of fatalities could rise as more information becomes available. Now, Prime Minister Alix Didier Fils-Ami confirmed that the event was attended by many young people and announced that a formal investigation had been launched. The government has mobilized emergency authorities to support the victims' families and those injured. And in an official statement, the Prime Minister extended his condolences to those affected by the tragedy. The La Ferie Citadel, also known as Citadel Henry, is a monumental symbol of Haitian independence. Built by revolutionary leader Henri Crossif in the early 1800s, the fortress was designed to protect the fledgling nation from French invasion. Today, it remains one of Haiti's most significant cultural and tourist attractions. Now, this disaster comes at a time when Haiti is already facing extreme internal pressure as the nation continues to struggle with both pervasive gang violence that has claimed thousands of lives across the country, as well as economic unrest. Those are your today's domestic news stories, as well as an update on that tragedy in Haiti. What news stories are you looking at today? What questions do you have for me? Feel free to drop them down in the comments. As always, hitting all the buttons truly helps keep this content visible under the new TikTok algorithm. I'm JJ Hastings, and I will see you in the next one.